I'm Barb from the EarlyON Brantford-Brant, where we offer programs for children 0 to 6 and their parents and caregivers. Today's the messy day. We're going to make 3 different things that are really messy, but tons of fun. The first thing we're going to make is an easy Play-Doh recipe. What we're going to need for the Play-Doh recipe is 2 cups of flour, 1 cup of salt, 1 cup of cold water, 1 tablespoon of oil, and some food coloring if you want. Now don't worry if you don't have the ingredients right with you right now. You can pause the video and go get them, or you can watch the video again later. We're going to get started right now though. The first thing we're going to do, it says here, we're going to mix all of the dry ingredients together. Then the next step is we're going to mix all of the wet ingredients together. What are the dry ingredients, do you think? Do you think the oil's dry? No, you're right, it's not dry, it's a wet thing. How about our salt? Yes, salt is a dry ingredient. We need 1 cup of salt, it says. I already started to pour a little bit of mine because it takes a long time to fill up a cup. We're going to pour it into the bowl. 1 cup of salt. What's our other dry ingredient? There's one more thing that's dry. Is it our water? No. Is it our food coloring? No, it's our flour. We need 2 cups of flour. There's 1. Another big scoop makes 2 cups of flour. We're going to stir them together so the salt and the flour mix together in the same bowl. It's hard to tell when it's mixing because they're both white. But we just want to stir them up a little bit together so when we mix in the wet ingredients, everything mixes together. So we're going to mix those in, and then we're just going to put it over to the side, and I'm going to bring my measuring cup here. It already has 1 cup of cold water in. I already put that in before we started because I don't have a sink here. And then we're going to add our oil. What did it say? 1 tablespoon of oil. Here's my tablespoon, and here's my big jug of oil. I have to pour really carefully so it doesn't come out too fast. And I pour my oil into my water. It's hard for you to see on there, but the oil sits on top of the water. It doesn't mix in. Oil and water don't like to mix together. Let's see what happens when we stir it though. We're going to add some food coloring. I have a big jar, so I'm going to use an eyedropper to get it out. But you might have a little jar at home that you could just squeeze the jar in. Squeeze a bit of the food coloring from the jar into your water. When you've got all your wet ingredients mixed, your water and your oil and your food coloring, we're going to give it a little stir. Can you hear that noise? When it's all mixed up, we're going to pour our wet things into our dry things, and it's going to be Play-Doh. It's like magic. Carefully pour it in so it doesn't spill everywhere. And then we're going to stir and stir and stir with the spoon until it's almost all mixed together. We don't want it too sloppy, so we stir it until they're almost all mixed together. And then do you know what we're going to do? We're going to put our hands in it. This is where the messy part starts. So see how it's almost mixed together? It looks sort of like Play-Doh, but with some still white stuff on the top. That's when you want to get your hands in there. So we're going to scrape that off the spoon. It kind of looks like this, and you're going to dig your hands in, and you're going to mix it and mix it and mix it with your hands until it's all mixed together. Look something like this when it's all mixed together and doesn't stick to your hands so much. That's when you're going to put it out onto the table. What we're going to do is take this big ball that we've got in our bowl, bring it right out onto the table, and then we're going to do something that's called kneading. We're going to knead our dough. So we squish it, and we squish it, and squish, and squish, and squish, 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 until it looks like Play-Doh. try to get it off. That's what happens when you're making messy things. You sometimes get messy hands. So you keep kneading until it's nice and soft, and then you'll be able to play with it. And you can play with it as soon as it's done, because it's nice and cold and good to play with. And when you're done playing with it, if you want to save it, you can put it in a bag that seals up, so a zipper bag, or you can put it in a container with the lid. I'm going to put it in my bag, and I'm going to zip up that bag, and that Play-Doh is going to keep nice and fresh for about a week. Now we're going to make the next one. The next one we're going to make is called foam dough. I don't know if you've ever heard of that one, but it feels really neat. What we need to make foam dough is 2 large bowls, 1 measuring cup, 1 cup of cornstarch, 3 cups of shaving cream. That's the stuff that sometimes you see maybe daddy or grandpa or mommy or grandma, they use it to sometimes shave their face or shave their legs. It's really kind of soapy stuff, kind of cool. Make sure you ask them for that. And then some food coloring if you want. Now just like when we made the Play-Doh, if you don't have everything right now, it's okay. You can pause the video and go find your things and then come back, or you can watch the video again later after you've gathered all your things. We're going to start with our cornstarch. We're going to put 1 cup of cornstarch into a bowl. Now, this stuff, I'm going to tell you right now, it's kind of messy stuff, and see how it fluffs all over the place? Oh my goodness. Careful, because it's messy, but that's what today's all about, is getting messy. So 1 cup of cornstarch into our bowl. We're just going to put that to the side for a minute, and then we're going to find a nice big measuring cup. The one I have can hold 4 cups. The very top line here says 4 cups. We need 3 cups of shaving cream, so that's a little bit less than the top, but you want to measure all that in. This is the shaving cream I'm using. And I'm going to squirt it in. Are you ready? Oh, look at it. Look at it go. Oh my goodness. Not up to the 3 cups yet. Almost there. Can you see it's growing a little bit? It's getting taller. There we go. 3 cups of shaving cream. Now, I want to have blue foam dough. So I'm going to add some blue food coloring into my shaving cream. Oh my goodness, there's cornstarch on me everywhere. All right, just like when we did the Play-Doh, I'm going to squeeze a little bit in. I'm going to drop it into my shaving cream. Look what's happening. Can you see that? It's starting to soak into the shaving cream a bit. I'm going to put a little bit more. See it? Then I'm going to carefully take my spoon, and I'm just going to mix it a little bit so that it mixes in. It kind of looks soapy, doesn't it? Very, very fluffy. I mix that all in. Woo, look at that. Oh my goodness, it's stuck to my spoon. When I start to stir it up, I'm noticing I don't think I have 3 cups of shaving cream in here. I'm going to need to add a little bit more. Squirt. And stir it in, and we'll see if that's at 3 cups. Woo! It wants to escape the measuring cup here. Now when I push that all down, it's right at my 3 cup line, right here. I can see where my spoon is touching in there. You probably can't see that, but now I have 3 cups. When I have 3 cups of shaving cream all nicely colored, I'm going to mix it together with the cornstarch. Here comes the messy part. In it goes. In it goes. I'll show you in just 1 minute what that looks like in the bowl. I want to scrape as much as I can out of here. Oh my goodness, it doesn't even want to come off my spoon. There we go. I've scraped out as much as I can. You might have a rubber spatula at home that you could use to scrape a little bit more. But I don't have one today, so I'm just going to use the spoon. This is what it looks like in the bowl. See how it's covering the cornstarch? And when I stir it a bit, the cornstarch starts to mix into the shaving cream. Okay, once you've started to mix it, here comes the messy part. You're going to get your hands in there and mix it up some more. Here I go. Oh, it feels so soft. Oh my goodness. This is the most incredible feeling stuff ever. It's so soft and fluffy. And as you stir that cornstarch in, you'll see that it starts to make it a little bit more of a dough and not quite so soapy like this shaving cream was. So we mix it and mix it and mix it. It might take a little while to mix it all in because that shaving cream wants to stick to your hands when you're doing it. But you just keep mixing and mixing and mixing until all of the cornstarch is mixed in with your shaving cream. I'm almost there, and then I'll show you what it's going to look like. It's kind of cool stuff because you can play with it on the table. It's not quite like Play-Doh because it feels different, but you can still make shapes with it, and you can roll it on the table. I'll show you. I'm just about ready for it to come out. Want to look? See it? So I'm going to put it out on the table, and I'm going to keep mixing and mixing and mixing. See how it's getting a little bit crumbly now? It's almost ready. Are you ready? I'm going to see if I can make it stand up. It worked. This is foam dough. And if you keep this foam dough, just like the Play-Doh, if you keep this foam dough in a bag with a zipper or in a container with a lid, it will keep really nice for probably about a week. And you can just keep taking it out and playing with it again. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the first two we've done. So we've made Play-Doh, and then we made our foam dough, and now the messiest of all, we're going to make some Goop. This is Barb's favorite. For Goop, we're going to need some sort of a large bin. It's nice to have a big bin like this if you can find one. Not too deep, not too big, but enough room that you can play around in there a bit. We're going to need water and cornstarch and some food coloring. And then you can find some things maybe in your kitchen, or maybe you could find some things in your playroom, or check with mom or dad, or check with your grown-up and see if there's some things you can use to play with in the Goop. I'm going to show you later. So, Goop is one of the easy ones we need, with what we're going to make. All you need to do is get your cornstarch. I already measured mine out because it's a little bit messy to pour out of the box. So I already measured. I measured 4 cups of cornstarch. Now on the recipe it says you need 2 parts of cornstarch to 1 part of water. So you're going to need a grown-up to help you figure out how much that is. But I'm going to use 4 cups of cornstarch, and I'm going to use 2 cups of water. So first you pour the cornstarch in. All you do is drop it in there. Cornstarch is a kind of a funny thing. It's it's powdery like flour, but it's not quite the same. So pour our cornstarch in, and then we get our 2 cups of water that I already measured out, and we pour that over top. Nice and slow. Pour a little bit in, and then you can find a spoon, and you can start to stir it together. I think this is going to be a little bit hard for you to see, but it should be tons of fun when you try it. Remember, if you didn't have the ingredients, you could have paused the video just like before, or you could put the video on again another time when you've got all of the ingredients you need. So you see look what happened to my cornstarch. It's all gloppy. And then look what happens. It pours off. That's why we call it Goop, because it's goopy. I'm going to put the last bit of water in, and I'm going to give it a stir. This is where you might need some help from a grown-up, because sometimes it's really hard to stir. So just give me a minute while I stir some of it in, and then I'm going to show you the magic of Goop. Oh my goodness, it's hard to stir. This is kind of a little science experiment that we're going to do. I'm going to show you. Because look, when I play in the Goop, I pick it up. I try to pick it up and it's very hard. Oh, and then I pick it up and it's like a ball in my hand. But when I open my hand, it drips right off. So in the science terms, in the science world, it's called going from a solid, where it's like this in a ball, to a liquid and dripping off. Look at that. Now the last thing I brought to the table here is food coloring. So you can play with your Goop when it's white, or if you want to add food coloring, now's the time. So we're going to put an eyedropper full of food coloring into our cornstarch mix, squirt it around, and then stir it up. Look at it go. Now it's purple Goop. Still does the same thing. Drips right off. It's an ooey gooey mess. This is probably a good activity to do maybe on the floor in the kitchen, or if the weather's nice, it's great to do this one outside, because then the mess is outside and we can just hose it away. Always check with your grown-up about where you're going to do your messy activities. I hope you've had lots of fun with our messy activities today. Thanks so much for joining us here at the EarlyON. Bye.